What a disgrace. This show is an absolute disgrace. It has got to be miserable to wake up every morning experiencing feelings of bitterness. It has got to be miserable to wake up every day experiencing the harsh symptoms of stage 4 OMB. Orange Man bad! Pretend Dr. Jill Biden. She was not needed yesterday to notice the symptoms of stage 4 OMB on The View. There was no need to develop a treatment plan. There was no need to manage the symptoms because they were unmanageable. At one point, I thought the shoulders of Big Red Joy Behar, I thought they were going to give out and her Superdome was going to roll on the floor. One of the anonymous yentas, Anita, Alice, Andrea, Audrey, who cares? It doesn't matter what her name is. She was experiencing the common symptom of fiending for attention. She was trying to get noticed. She was trying to create headlines. But once again, she walked off the set unknown. Over the last 36 hours, I have been monitoring reactions to the Trumper speech at the Republican convention. Now, most normal people thought that the speech was phenomenal. Donnie was humble, he was subdued, he went after Nancy Pelosi and Johnny B. Biden, but he wasn't really vicious about it. Well, Casey, he called Nancy Pelosi crazy. Isn't that vicious and disrespectful? I don't think so. Since when is telling the truth disrespectful? Sure, it might hurt feelings, but oftentimes the truth does hurt feelings, especially to those who are allergic to it. Most normal people, though, they thought Trump did an excellent job with his speech, but you wouldn't know that if you listen to the mainstream media. No! According to Stephen A. Smith, According to Stevie, the Trumper, he was divisive. He missed a great opportunity to unify the country. Now, even though I completely disagree with Stephen A. Smith, I do respect his opinion. And the reason I respect his opinion is because he was respectful with his analysis. I'll tell you who I don't respect. The yentas on The View. Their reaction yesterday morning, it was absolutely repulsive. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Once again, there was a noticeable absence yesterday morning on The View. This seems to be a recurring theme on Fridays. As you're about to see in the clip, the air, it is noticeably cleaner. The set, it's not blanketed with a thick smog. Why? Because the whoopee cushion wasn't there. After the most successful Republican convention in history, after one of the biggest political speeches in recent memory, the whoopee cushion could not be bothered to show up to work. Now, of course, everyone in this audience knows why the whoopee cushion was absent yesterday morning. With the CrowdStrike glitch going on, I'm sure she was overly concerned that she would not be able to refill her toxic gas tank. Plus, my inside sources, they're telling me that pretend Dr. Jill, she has set up the whoopee cushion with physical therapy. It's getting harder and harder in her advanced age to hike her legs so she can give her boodle the proper airspace to loudly release the breeze. The pretend doctor, she is hoping the physical therapy will add a few years to the whoopee cushion's career of being a professional flatulator. With the primary producer of flatulence absent yesterday morning, it was a next up yenta mentality. And believe me, the backups, they had no problem filling the air with toxic mouth farts. But before I show you the clips, let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at the Embroidery Spot. If you watched the convention Thursday night, I'm sure you guys noticed Donald Trump honoring the firefighter who lost his life protecting his own family. Now, I can't think of anything more heroic than sacrificing yourself to protect your wife and children. Corey, He deserves to be honored, as do all of our service members. And one way to honor them is with customized gear from the embroidery spot. If you want to show your appreciation for Corey as well as other firefighters, you can select from one of the embroidery spot service line hats. If you want to personalize your support, the embroidery spot. They also offer customized hats like this one. So it's got the blue line here, and you can put, your father or your own police badge number on it. You can select a hat with the Air Force logo and have your name stitched underneath it. But of all the unique hats offered at the embroidery spot, my personal favorite, hiding from Biden. In the year of our Lord 2024, isn't that what we're all doing? Hiding from Biden and hoping we no longer need to hide by November? Hell, the way things are going, we might not be hiding anymore by tomorrow. Now, of course, then we would be hiding from Cam Harris. But the embroidery spot, they designed the hat I'm wearing right now, and if I'm perfectly honest with you, if the embroidery spot was one of the 4 preferred vendors here on YouTube, I would have them design all of my merch. I am highly impressed with this company. The Embroidery Sprott, they are proud to be military owned and operated with over 2,000 satisfied customers rating them 4.9 out of 5 stars. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Receive 10% off your first purchase with the Embroidery Spot. We transition from talking about a noble company run by proud military veterans who love this country to talking about the Yentas on The View. What a segue. Yesterday morning, Big Red Joy Behar, she was doing what she does best, sharing her misery. She was upset because Donald Trump had the audacity to claim that the good Lord was watching out for him last Saturday as Captain Doofus tried to take his life. With Joy Behar being a Christian, you would think she might find a way to relate to the Trumper through their common faith. You would think she would agree that God was looking out for the Trumper last weekend. But when you're a paid propagandist, everything else is secondary when it comes to demonizing your political opponents. Watch for yourself.
I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say because it's very narcissistic. What about Corey? What's his name? Torre, the fireman who also got killed.
I don't know. I think some Christians.
What about all those guys who got killed on Sandy Hook? All of those people. Yeah. It's God was watching me and not watching them.
You know what I find disturbing? The Yentas. First of all, was Pretend Dr. Jill on set yesterday? Because I didn't see her there. I saw the great pretender Alyssa Farrah Griffin, but she doesn't pretend to be a doctor. She pretends to be a conservative. The reason I'm asking, who pretended to diagnose Trump with narcissism? I know for a fact that Joy Behar did not get her PhD from Woke U in psychology. She got her PhD in physics. Where did you think she learned how to balance that Superdome on her shoulders? How is Trump a narcissist? By giving glory to God for saving his life. Wouldn't a narcissist give all the glory to himself? According to Big Red, the Trumper, he's a supreme asshole because he talked about himself instead of talking about Corey. Clearly, Joy Behar did not watch this speech Thursday night because the Trumper, he spent several minutes honoring the man that saved his own family. I also thought it was fitting that Joy Behar, she's trying to criticize the Trumper for overlooking the fallen hero, and she couldn't even be bothered to remember his name. What a disgrace. Joy Behar, absolutely disgraceful. You know, it's absolutely amazing that this show is still on the air. Just think about everything that's happened just this week on The View. The Whoopi cushion, she used Trump's granddaughter to demonize him. The Yentas had an emotional meltdown because John Biden's being pressured to step aside. Son Hostin pushed the same tired narrative that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, which was a clear violation of the woke commandments since her fearless leader, John Biden, he demanded a halt to the dangerous political rhetoric. And just when you think it can't get any worse, just when you think the hate and disdain could not get any worse, anonymous Ana Navarro, she steps up in the absence of the whoopee cushion, and she unleashes one of the most toxic mouth farts ever heard on this polished turd. As usual, Ana Navarro was upset yesterday. Hell, when are these lovely ladies not upset? Are they ever in a good mood? Andrea, she was upset because normal people were praising Trump's speech. I cannot believe it. I don't understand. Why are people praising Osman bad? This speech was deplorable. It was divisive. He called Nancy Pelosi crazy. That is so insulting because we are supposed to be the only crazy women. Towards the end of her rant, Anita, she said something that caught normal people's attention. Throughout the week this week, the Trumper, he's been wearing a bandage over his ear. Now, according to Alice, the bandage was in the wrong spot. Amelia, she was hoping that the bandage would be placed over his mouth. Watch for yourself.
I thought today I would wake up and the TV would be full of like doctors talking about Donald Trump's cognitive decline. I thought it would be full of Republicans hanging their heads in shame like Democrats did. What we saw yesterday was a replay of Trump's 90-minute constant rallies. It's too bad the bandage was just over his ear. It should have been over his mouth.
First of all, why is the number 6,000 at the bottom of the screen? What is that supposed to represent? Is that the average age of the women on this show? Some in conservative media, they are questioning the intent of Ana Navarro. Some are questioning whether she was insinuating that Trump should have been attacked in the mouth. Now, I am not going to do that. I don't think that was her intent. I think Ana Navarro was trying to make a joke. I'm trying to be funny. Naturally, her attempt at comedy was a huge embarrassing failure. My thing is, what happened to toning down the rhetoric? What happened to the woke media and their message of unity? U-N-I-T-Y, Y-E-N-T-A. What the hell happened to that? We are 1 week removed from what could have been one of the biggest tragedies in recent memory. 1 week! Now, I've been watching the media all week this week. I have yet to see one person from Fox News spreading what the media calls dangerous rhetoric. I have yet to see one example from News Nation, home of Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C. I have yet to see one example from Newsmax. The only people I continue to see spreading the rhetoric are in the mainstream media. They know it's over. They know they failed. Their arsenal is empty. They have tried everything they can to demonize the Trumper. January 6th, the plethora of court cases, the illusion of Russian collusion, impeachment, and the only thing they've accomplished is giving Trump a record amount of support. Give me your thoughts on this. Yesterday morning, it might have been the most deplorable episode of The View. Joy Behar criticizing Trump for having the audacity to thank God for saving his life. Ana Navarro saying the bandage should have been over his mouth. How does this show have an audience? The View, without a doubt, the worst show on television. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. See you guys tomorrow.